Johnny Cage, the man who brought you Ninja Mine, is about to take on his most challenging role yet.
Hey, listen, honey. We don't want to fight.
As Johnny Cage.
I make this look easy. And I'm taking you down, I'm taking you down, I'm taking you out, I'm taking you out. And I'm taking you out for dinner.
With millions of lives at stake, Johnny Cage is the world's only chance at salvation.
He was busy hitting me in the face.
When Johnny enters the ring, he plays by different rules.
Sure, let's go ruin someone else's life.
Johnny Cage isn't afraid to get a little messy.
You couldn't have seen that in one of your hot flashes?
And most of all, in order to win, he's willing to fight dirty.
No matter how much muscle your favorite character may possess, it all comes down to one thing: knowing the controls. But some gamers don't rely on skill. Some gamers mash buttons, resulting in KTS, carpal tunnel syndrome. This painful affliction results from the unnatural physical stress of button mashing on the joints, thus rendering one's thumbs virtually useless. Early warning signs of KTS include swollen thumbs, difficulty completing everyday tasks, and soreness. Ouch! We at GameStop have set out to help gamers prevent this debilitating condition during the release of Mortal Kombat. After all, it's during the first week of a fighting game release when new players are unfamiliar with the controls, and we see a spike in occurrences of KTS. The best way you can prevent KTS is by pre-ordering at GameStop. You'll get the exclusive classic Scorpion skin along with his thumb-friendly fatality. Know the moves before you pick up the controller and protect yourself from carpal tunnel syndrome.
You weak, pathetic fool!
Your aggression is misplaced, but I have found new purpose in serving the spirits. I do not cling to the past.
We share blood. We are not brothers. Fear me. visions.
Lord Raiden, what is wrong?
It is nothing, Liu Kang. The tournament begins. Thunder take you!
This is where I was reborn. This is where you will pay!
If Earthrealm wins, Shao Kahn will abandon his claim to it forever.
Your soul is mine!
My brother participated in this folly. I do so only to face his killer.
You are not Sub-Zero.
I am his family and clan. I fight for his honor. Fight!
Hey, what are you doing out here?
Looking for a new playmate.
Be wary, Liu Kang. He is unlike anything you have fought before.
Only one fight remains. Face me in Mortal Kombat. This tournament is more than a chance for personal glory.
The brutality is real.
Call it in.
This spring, see what Curtis Stryker does best. Pain means nothing to this man. Especially when he's the one delivering it.
Police brutality coming up.
He's learned some new tricks,
Enough of this.
and he's bringing them to the streets.
We're going street level. We've been compromised. Foe.
Dressed like that?
Definitely foe. Cover me. Hey, what are you doing out here?
This time around, he's ditched his gear to make room for more weapons.
What the? Well, you found me.
There isn't anyone who's above the law with Stryker's book.
Earthrealm Defender is about 10 steps above my pay grade.
Because in order to clean up the streets, he's going to have to rely on brutal justice.
Scarlet. Rain. Kenshi.
Gonna get caged!
I don't think there's really anything you can say to Johnny Cage to put him in his place. He's not the brightest guy. I don't think he'd really register anything that I tried to make fun of him about.
Johnny Cage, you know, Citizen Cage was awesome. Tommy Scissorfist was a kick-ass movie, but dude, Ninja Mime? What was that?
Here it comes!
He's kind of locked himself, so the best thing to do is just not talk to him at all. Just ignore him.
Watch this.
I don't think there's anything you can say to Johnny Cage to put him in his place, because, my God, that guy has a tattoo of his name on his chest. There's no hope for him.
I make this look easy.
You know, he punches people in the a lot, so I'd be like, you know, what's the deal with that, man? That's not cool.
I'd probably just kick him in the crotch and run away.
Money shot!
I'd say nice glasses, douchebag.
You're a douchebag?
Johnny Cage wins.
Oh yeah!
He's kind of a little too Jersey Shore for me.
I'm so pretty.
I would just tell him you're gonna die in the next game. That's what I would do. I think he dies in every game.
Johnny Cage wins. Flawless victory.
Oh yeah!
The Pit.
Finish him!
Those unfortunate enough to provoke Shang Tsung's ire find themselves forced to compete at the Pit. A bridge suspended high above a sea of razor-sharp demon steel blades. It is the most treacherous of all fighting arenas on the island. Though its original construction was without blades, Shang Tsung grew agitated by the number of survivors and commanded they be added to better ensure fatalities. He then positioned a camouflaged reptile at the bottom of the pit to finish any who survived the fall. The carnage below is eventually consumed by the many subterranean creatures that dwell beneath the grounds of the palace. An unceremonious end for the unworthy. The Living Forest. Though the Living Forest is named for the trees that seem to come alive, it is in fact a place of death. Stories of moaning trees that devour the flesh of unwary travelers spread throughout the realm. It is said that those who are consumed by the forest become the forest, their tortured faces etched upon the trees. Shao Kahn learned long ago the perils of sending troops through this treacherous wood. Many of his best soldiers have been lost to its entangled foliage. The deadly nature of the living forest is likely why it has remained unspoiled for millennia. The Deadpool.
Finish him!
Mere prisoners of Outworld are taken to Shao Kahn's dungeons. But for those whom the Emperor condemns to intense suffering, the Deadpool is their final destination. Here, a narrow concrete walkway transverses a reservoir of acidic green waste, refuse of past creations from Shang Tsung's flesh pits. The condemned are forced to look upon the scorched remains of hapless prisoners hanging from barbaric hooks, and succumb to the grim realization that it will soon be their fate to descend into the deadly murk. Khan's Coliseum. To entertain the denizens of Outworld and remind them of his brutality, Shao Kahn presides over fighting exhibitions in this enormous Coliseum. The Emperor's throne is positioned at the very center of the structure, the ideal vantage point from which to savor the blood and fear of the combatants. For these tournaments are no mere sport. Enemies of the Empire are routinely cast into the arena to fight for their very lives. The victors are celebrated. The victims have their remains scattered among the spectators, who show their displeasure by hurling the severed heads to the arena floor.
We are many, you are but one.
earn respect.
Your soul is mine.
Test your might, test your sight, test your strike, test your luck. Oh yeah! Fight!
Dating all the way back to the very first Mortal Kombat, I actually worked in an arcade at the time. I remember coming into work and hearing the sound of people going, oh, ah, you know, making these loud screams and yells and cheers because they were seeing something they had never seen before.
Fatalities are awesome in that it's a perfect way to end a match. It's a good way to show that you dominated over your defeated opponent.
What makes the fatalities awesome, I think, is the sense of humor to them. And I know it took me a while to get my arms around the mentality of them myself. And it's, you know, they're very graphic and very disturbing and disgusting, but there's an underlying humor to them that, you know, certainly is what defines my favorite ones.
I think a lot of the casual players, you know, specifically pick up Mortal Kombat, are always looking up, you know, what are the fatalities, how gruesome they are, you know, even finding out, like unlocking them through the game and stuff like that.
Initially, we try and come up with a brainstorming session, kind of get some ideas, or like think about stuff, and then we kind of all get together, kind of bounce ideas off each other a little bit, and kind of formulate one really great idea out of all of us. And from there, we do a couple of practices, try to figure out the timing, things like that. We go in the studio, we shoot the actual motion. From there, we take the data, process it, get it into the computer, exaggerate it well beyond whatever we shot so that we get like this really great performance with all the gruesome, brutal things that people come to expect from Mortal Kombat.
So once all of the action had been defined, we would make sure that blood, any of the magic, any of the other visuals that don't fall under either environments or characters would get put into the cinemas.
The most fun I had was actually the one fatality in particular was the Kung Lao, one of the iconic ones that have been used in a lot of the marketing now, when he lays down his hat and pulls the unsuspecting victim through it.
Carlos is he's a huge character in the studio, and he likes to keep the mood upbeat.
The best part that I love about these fatalities is I get to beat up on Rick O'Mara, and he also gets to, perform his fatalities on me.
I actually remember when we were shooting the Cabal fatality where the victim falls on the hook swords, and you had Tony supporting Carlos as Carlos is falling over, and it was just hilarious because when you look at the raw data up on the screen, you don't see Tony there, so he fell and it looked so perfect. It was hilarious.
maybe about like the third or fourth take, we start getting into more or less of the vision of the actual fatality, where you're getting into, you know, like, I really need to stab these knives into these guys' clavicle so that way the lightning will strike. You know, when you're doing it the first or second time, you're like, oh, I really don't want to hurt, you know, the other actor. When the other actor gives you the cue, he's like, hey man, just let go and really like hit my clavs. Having somebody able to draw off all that emotional content and trying to get the best performance.
My role on fatalities was to make sure that once everything else was in place, that we had visual effects for the fatalities. So once all of the action had been defined, we would make sure that blood, any of the magic, any of the visuals that don't fall under either environments or characters would get put into the cinemas. Probably my favorite and most successful effects are the ones where we involve the most sleight of hand. The classic reptile fatality, getting his tongue to work, was one of those real coups. We use basically a beam, just an ability in the engine to draw a mesh from one point to another, basically attaching one end to Reptile's head and one end to the victim's head, and then introducing material-driven noise to that to make it seem as though there's an elastic tongue where really it's just a code-driven mesh that's going from one point to another.
Some of the key points that we really try to focus on is to make sure that every fatality fits into the same look and feel as the others. We don't want one or another to kind of feel different.
One of the fatalities that gave us a lot of trouble early on was the sector fatality, where all the missiles fly out, and we had been telling our artists, let's leave it at about 6, and then all these missiles flying around and all these particle effects going off. We were wondering how we were going to pull that one in, but as it turned out, we managed to make it work.
Every fatality had its own challenges, ranging from just making the blood look good, and blood from the outset is a tricky thing to get right when we have to do a graphic that will update 60 times a second.
The best fatalities are the ones that are nasty. They're like really violent, but at the same time have a comedic tone to it. Those are always the best ones. Most of them actually have a comedic tone to it, and I think that's what makes fatalities popular.
So fierce. This fight will be your last.
You will learn respect.
This fight will be your last.
This will be easy.
Let us dance.
We are many. You are but one.
Fear me.
Where there is smoke, there is fire.
AP's disabled. Combat mode engaged. I will show no mercy.
This will be easy.
You will learn respect.
Shao Kahn trusts few, except the fighters of his own creation. Collecting the blood of countless warriors and infusing it with sorcery, he created the bloodthirsty Scarlet. Gaining strength from the blood of her opponents, Shao Kahn only releases her as a last resort. Her new mission is to uncover Quan Chi's true intentions.
Finish him.
If Scarlet discovers a plot to betray her creator, there will be hell to pay.
Scarlet wins. Fatality.
I make this look easy. Your soul is mine.
Using limited magical abilities, Shang Tsung discovered the realm of Outworld, where he pledged his life to Shao Kahn in return for enhanced power. Magically bound to the Dark Emperor, he's played host to the last 9 Mortal Kombat tournaments, each time stacking the odds in favor of his master.
Finish him.
For centuries, this treacherous sorcerer has submissively done Shao Kahn's bidding. Whether his forces win or fail, his fate has been written in blood.
Shang Tsung wins. Fatality.
Scorpion was once human, like us. But he, his family, and his clan were all exterminated by Sub-Zero. His tormented soul laid waste in the Netherrealm, but was mysteriously resurrected by the malevolent Quan Chi.
Finish him.
Fueled by revenge, he entered the Mortal Kombat tournament to avenge his family and slay his mortal enemy, Sub-Zero.
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Shao Kahn's conquest orphaned many children, but only one was adopted by the powerful Edenian resistance. Under their strict tutelage, he became an elite but arrogant fighter named Rain. Though Rain had served the resistance well for many years, he was denied his own command. Infuriated, he betrayed his brethren and joined his mortal enemy, Shao Kahn.
Finish him.
Ignoring loyalty, Rain is hell-bent on his mission. Obtain true power and destroy anything that gets in the way.
Rain wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Raiden, the god of thunder, protects Earthrealm from Armageddon. When Shao Kahn threatened to merge our reality with his, Raiden implored the Elder Gods to give us a fighting chance. The gods granted Raiden's wish, and thus, the Mortal Kombat Tournament was born.
Finish him.
For thousands of years, Shao Kahn has been kept at bay. But with Earthrealm once again threatened, Raiden must find a champion worthy of Mortal Kombat.
Raiden wins. Fatality.
This fight will be your last.
Kuai Liang and his brother Bi-Han were abducted as children and trained to be ultimate assassins by the Lin Kuei. When Bi-Han was unjustly murdered by Scorpion, Kuai Liang swore revenge. He mastered the power of ice and cold and took his brother's codename, Sub-Zero.
Finish him!
The new Sub-Zero entered the Mortal Kombat Tournament with one goal: to destroy his brother's killer and anyone who stands in his way.
Sub-Zero wins. Fatality.
Let us dance!
Mileena was created by Shang Tsung in his foul flesh pits. Twisted and mad, she's equally beauty and beast. Devoid of a conscience, she has the rage of a wild animal. Only the evil Lord Shao Kahn possesses the will to control her.
Finish her.
Determined to destroy her rival Kitana, Mileena entered the Mortal Kombat Tournament, ready to butcher anyone and everyone who gets in her way.
Mileena wins. Fatality.
As a young orphan, Liu Kang was trained by monks, ultimately becoming a Shaolin expert under Master Bo Rai Cho. Assisted by the God of Thunder, Liu Kang is Earthrealm's best hope for freedom and survival.
Finish him.
Liu Kang is destined to reach the final challenge and become the champion of Mortal Kombat.
Liu Kang wins. Fatality.
Kenshi, a proud swordsman, was promised the legendary Sento sword by a strange old man who was actually Shang Tsung in disguise. When he took the sword, Kenshi also released ancient warrior spirits that were all consumed by Shang Tsung. He was then left to die in the dark. Blind but alive, Kenshi was guided out of the tomb by the mystical sword.
Finish him.
Led by his senses and fueled by revenge, Kenshi believes in an eye for an eye.
Kenshi wins. Fatality.
Rated M for mature.
Finish him.
Download Freddy Krueger and let the nightmare begin. Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat downloadable content available now.
Finish him. Johnny Cage wins.
A malevolent spirit of the dream realm, Freddy Krueger preys on the souls of the living while they sleep. attempted to steal Earthrealm's souls, Freddy brought him into the Dream Realm and challenged him to battle. Aware of Freddy's dream-fueled powers, a cunning Shao Kahn pulled Freddy back into the waking world, making him mortal once again.
Finish him!
Creating himself two demonically powered razor gloves, a newly mortal Freddy Krueger is determined to kill Shao Kahn. Only then can he return to the Dream Realm to continue his true passion, torturing the youth of Elm Street.
Freddy wins. Fight!
This fight will be your last.
Complete your collection with the Mortal Kombat Complete Edition, rated mature.
We really set out to please the fans and get back to the roots of the game. I think we accomplished that with positive response from all our fans. And now with this Complete Edition, we really want to give all the DLC and all the downloadable content right there from the start. So if you have the old game and you want to buy the new game, you have everything there for you right away.
So one of our objectives in the Complete Edition was to ensure that once we packaged all the downloadable content and the game itself together on one disc, when the players out there had that game, that it would function properly, not only with itself, but also with the existing game that's out there. So if you had a buddy that had the old game and you got the Complete Edition, you could play with your buddy online.
Right out of the box, you have all the DLC available to you. You have Scarlet, Kenshi, Rain, and Freddy Krueger. A lot of the fans were really asking for the Rain character, so we went and put him in, and it was a lot of work to get him to really work the way he worked in the 2D games. We had the water bubble move. There's this really cool move that was like really quirky compared to all the other moves in the game, where it held the guy, moved him around, and getting that to translate into the 3D game, into our game space was really a challenge, but I think we really nailed it. I'm hoping the Complete Edition will bring a lot more gamers to Mortal Kombat. Anybody who's been waiting for the game to come out, I really hope they get this game.
Get over here!
You pack quite a punch. Nice.
You're not bad yourself.
You know, I wore my old outfit just for you.
Ooh, vintage. That's hot.
You're hot. How about a kiss, baby? Works every time.
Unlock Scorpion's classic skin and Fatality. A GameStop exclusive when you pre-order Mortal Kombat. Power to the players. Rated M for mature.
Fight! Finish him!
Is there gravity in this game? Because I am flying around you. Oh my god, you are crappy with a capital K.
You realize you can hit me more than once, right?
Oh.
Oh, come on. Oh, you're gonna feel this in the morning.
No, come on.
I really hope you don't want kids.
No.
Fatality lives. Mortal Kombat. Rated M for mature.
Fight!
Mortal Kombat. Rated M for mature.
Peggy 18. Peggy 18.
Let us dance.
Peggy 18. Peggy 18.
This fight will be your last.
Learn respect.
Finish him. Finish him.
Peggy 18.